Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat mga paps. Welcome po sa ating palatuntunang Ride Radio. Isang oras na naman po tayo magkukwentuhan ngayong hapon. Ako po si Jay Taruc.
At ako naman si Jolly Alarcon.
Okay, pag-uusapan po natin ang mundo ng riding community at syempre ang mga updates o mga developments dito sa ating motorcycle industry. Nakatutok po kayo ngayon sa Signal TV Channel 1. Live din po kami sa facebook.com/1ph on Signal. At syempre sa YouTube, hanapin lamang po ang 1PH. Magandang hapon, Engineer Jolly.
Magandang hapon, Jay.
Okay, kamusta ang Pasko mo? A day after Christmas.
Yun.
Kamusta Noche Buena? Ano ba mga naging Noche Buena mo, Engineer Jolly?
Nako, Jay. Basta kung ano lang yung mabili namin sa sa Grab Food o Food Panda, okay na.
Oo. Ang sinasabi nila ngayon, malaki ang pagbabago dahil may pandemya, di ba? Yung mga dating magarbo, no, masyadong, di ba, mga expensive na handa, medyo tinone down ng ating mga kababayan.
Yun.
Pero, ayun, I'm so happy today, no? I'm so honored na makakasama natin ang ilan sa mga bigatin, no? Mga nire-respeto natin sa industriya, Jolly. I know you're also excited na makausap sila, makasama sila later on. But before that, gusto ko lamang pasalamatan, no? Since this is our last episode for the year 2020, walang yakang 2020 ka. Napakaraming ayaw nating mangyari na nangyari na itong taon na ito. But I hope hindi ka na bumalik. So we're going to siguro say thanks muna sa ating mga naging bisita, no, itong year 2020. Andiyan yan yung kaibigan natin si Kuya Kim Atienza, no, na alam naman natin na talagang naihilig, very passionate about the two wheels, no, si JV Borromeo ng Brixton Bespoke, si Coach Sean Fariñas, no, kaibigan natin si Brother Mike Salomon. Na talentadong tao yan. And of course, Mr. Ryan Agoncillo, maraming salamat for gracing our show. Si Shintaro Valdez, no, nakasama din natin, Jolly, no? O Jolly, ikaw naman magtuloy ng iba pa nating mga nakasama.
Sige. Meron pa tayong mga guests, yung Pinoy Riders.
Sa from
California.
the US. Okay.
Si Mr. Jonard Carlos.
General Carlos, thank you. Salamat po sa pag-paunlak. Okay.
Si Roscoe Odulio.
Si Boss Roscoe Odulio ng Wheeltech. Okay.
Charles Punsalang.
Maraming salamat.
Ito,
Raymond Villanueva.
Si Raymond Villanueva.
Of Paymaya. Thank you, bro. Ito
Si
pa isa.
George Royeca.
Sir George. Angkas, okay.
Si Noli.
Kaibigan ng Angkas. From Joyride naman si Sir Noli Ayala, no? Si Com. Okay. Sir Joms Manas, Jerry Cristobal, no? Senator JV Ejercito, kaibigan ng programa, Ride PH, na ang team natin sa Ride PH, of course, Sirian Agujo, Ian Celis. Napakarami, Jolly, no? Nating nakasama this year, so from the bottom of our hearts, no, mula po dito sa Ride Radio, maraming salamat po. At sana huwag kayo magsasawa na bumisita dito sa amin ulit. And speaking of bisita, Jolly, I guess it's time, no? It's time na to introduce our guests, no? Dalawa po sila. Wala pong siguro rider na hindi nakakakilala dito sa dalawang ito. Okay, para samahan tayong balikan ang mga pumatok na mga motorsiklo, mga bikes, mga rides. Ngayong taon, makakausap po natin of course, isa sa mga haligi na rin siguro ng motorcycle industry ito, ang si Mr. Al Camba ng Inside Racing, and of course, rockstar and motojournalist par excellence. Okay, Mr. Zach Lucero, direct from the US, no? Ng Makina. Magandang hapon sa inyo, gentlemen. Sir Al, bumati muna kayo, Sir Al, Zach. Ikaw muna, Sir Al. Greet our viewers.
Good afternoon, Sir Jay, Sir Ronald, and sa po na nakikinig sa Ride Radio. Happy holidays po, and like Sir Jay Taruc, we're also looking forward for 2021.
Yes, ayaw na natin doon 2020. Okay, Zach, December 26 na ngayong araw na to, hapon ngayon, bro. Pero I know iba bang petsa diyan ngayon or ganun pa rin? Alam ko iba oras eh.
Yes.
Diba hapon yata?
Daylight saving time, so plus 14 kayo. So again, magandang hapon sa inyo lahat at maraming salamat at inimbitan niyo po kami. Merry Christmas. Looking forward po tayo sa Happy New Year. And ayun, maraming salamat for inviting.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Nako, didiretso na tayo sa ating topic ngayon and very exciting ito dahil tinanong namin kayo beforehand at may mga binigay kayong mga motorsiklo, no? Yung mga marami kasing releases this 2020 and alam mo, sabihin man natin na may pandemya pero exciting itong 2020 for the motorcycle industry and yung mga fans ng two-wheel, ano? Daming motor kasing lumabas ngayon. Unahin natin itong ito galing kay Zach ito, choice ni Zach ito. Honda ADV 150, one of the hottest bikes, one of the hottest scooters sa lumabas ngayon. 149,000 ang SRP niya, no? Pero September 2019 pa ito in-introduce, Zach, eh, no?
Correct.
Bakit mo pinili ito, Zach? And why is it special? Bakit nagkakagulo mga tao dito?
Well, some of the choices na nabanggit ko were based on the metrics na nakita namin sa Makina, kung paano nag-react kasi yung mga tao. So, isa sa mga pinakamalakas na pumalo for 2020 kasi na-release namin yung feature January 1 ng 2020. So, siya yung unang video na lumabas for this year bago nagkagulo yung mundo.
Correct.
I don't know. I guess laking factor na nung lumabas yung ADV 750 tas nagkaroon ng maliit na version niya na hindi natin pwede sabihin na parang ganun pero itsura-wise na parang you get a slice of that big bike. Correct. And naabot kaya at that price. Feeling ko yun eh. And of course, Honda, I mean, it's a looker. Diba?
Correct. Okay, Sir Al, what can you say about the Honda ADV 150? Hindi mahirap magustuhan itong ADV 150. Ang ganda naman kasi pag nakita mo talaga lalo na in person.
Yes, actually the reason why that was initially on my list kasi nga it was released 2019, no? But because of deliveries, actually the impact was felt in 2020. It's a what you call this? It's one of those models that usually comes out in a segment where it creates a different segment within the segment, and then hopefully after a few years, other manufacturers will follow. So, yung ADB was the first small scooter that has the image that is different from a regular scooter. So meron siyang more versatile, more capable type of image, no? Although specs-wise, it's really for the asphalt, but the relaxed touring and the presence that it gives na malaki, no? So yun, I think it's something na I think a type of motorcycle that for sure other manufacturers will follow.
Kasi yung thought na merong adventure scooter, I guess marami nang nag-aabang sa atin yan. No? Yung iba nga, ninanabi pa ng konti yung kanilang mga scooter. Eh. Pero ilan sa mga features ito, Honda Smart Key System, fuel efficient, no? May ABS ito, no? Front and rear ba? Tama ba? Meron, no? V-belt automatic transmission. So it's a very, very exciting scooter. At ang daming ang may mga nag-hoard pa, no? Na mga kababae. Gustong pagkakitaan pa. Oh.
Yeah. Basta sobrang init niya. As I recall, the first quarter of 2020, just, grabe talaga yung response niya. So, I would say for the year, although yes, tama. I mean, na-release siya ng 2019, pero nung pumalo siya sa metro natin, 2020, grabe.
Oo. Ayun, ang dami. Pinag-usapan talaga ito. And I guess this is, yung SRP niya, is mataas siya doon sa segment niya, no? For a 150cc scooter and with all the features and technology. Of course, kumbaga parang yung iba tingin nila sulit and I think nagkakaubusan pa rin sa market, no? Nag-iipit pa rin yung ibang mga nag-hoard. Okay, going to the next bike, the Kimco X-Town CT300i from Sir Alcamba. No, ang price nito 229,000, no, SRP. Nitong December lang ni-release, no, latter part of 2020, designed for urban areas. Of course, yung kanilang technology, Nudo, turn-by-turn navigation system. Sir Al, bakit mo Bakit mo binanggit sa amin, and why is this one scooter to watch?
Yeah. First, no, the list that I gave you, kasi sabi top motorcycle. So I had to visit top selling, top social media na pinag-usapan, or yung significance niya, no?
Okay.
So considering 2020 is not a normal year, no? So yung list ko was more based on the significance and future impact nung sa industry, no? So the first one that I chose was the Kimco CT300iY because it's for the price, no? Kasi the scooter segment has been growing for more than 5 years na, almost 10 actually, no? And right now, even though the market share is not big, no, everybody keeps on harping about scooter because doon papunta. Now the CT300i represent, I think, the next model to which all these small scooter riders will aspire to. A bigger model, more comfortable, more luxurious, more powerful, and the price is just a little bit higher than the smaller, no? It's not yet a full-blown 400cc maxi scooter. So I think that's why it's important.
Hindi pa maxi scooter, Sir Al, no? Hindi pa maxi
well,
scooter.
it's a maxi scooter, pero hindi siya expressway ready. Kasi here in the Philippines, medyo, well, my opinion lang, medyo unique when you say maxi scooter. Ang thinking ng tao, when you say big bike or maxi scooter, it has to be expressway legal, 400cc. So we're the only country who has that, no? So ang feeling ko is with the price na 200 plus lang, and with all the features, and once people start to ride it, no, and feel the convenience set, I think this will start the same way that the NMAX started the 155cc premium scoot in 2015. 2015-14. I think this will start the same thing, no? Kasi it has the right price. X-Max was here a few years ago, but because maybe of the price, it's not so hindi malaki. But I think this came to us a good chance. So that's why I think it's important bike na release for 2020.
Nakakita na ako in person itong yung Kimco X-Town, no, CT300i. Ang laki. Talagang one thing na noticeable sa Kimco, talagang yung room niya, no, sa under the saddle na compartment. Sobrang laki. Zach, quick impression itong Kimco X-Town. Ano masasabi mo dito, CT300?
I was able to use that for about 2 weeks then. Hindi ko pa nalalabas yung review. I'm saving it for 2021. And siya yung step through nila. Actually, yung nasa listahan ko, kaya hindi ko siya sinama for this year kasi isa-save ko siya for 2021. Pero I did mention the AK550 in my list. And ngayon, pag-isip ko, nirelease ba nila yan 2020? Medyo naguguluhan na ako ng taon na to. But I did get to borrow the AK550. Now, I would say, yung AK550 for me, it's one of the best. Talagang flagship siya. Talagang primong yung AK550.
Maxi scoot,
nilabas nila yung... Oo, talagang nilabas nila. Grabe, all out to. Everything, it's just juggernaut tanke, all out na maxi scoot. So nilabas nila yung City 300. Sabi ko, pwede It's like a little slice of the 550 na, hey, this is not bad. So, but lahat na minention nyo, also what Al said, Sir Al said, I completely agree. And yung sinasabi mo, space and all, everything that you want in comfort, na nabibigay ng convenience na nasa 150 Matic in a bigger scale.
Okay siya. Gentlemen, ako, naalala ko tuloy yung trip natin sa Taiwan. No? It's one of my best trips outside the country. Talagang with Sir Al and of course Makina Zach. Talagang tuwan-tuwa ako noon and really honored to join that trip. No? Na nag-ride tayong tatlo sabay-sabay. Testing out I think this is the Kimco 400, no?
Exciting, yes.
Exciting 400. Nako, ang sarap ng ride. Jolly! Andiyan ka pa ba? Sorry pero ayun. Ako, naalala ko lang. Okay, moving on, no? Just like the ADV 150, pinag-usapan din itong Yamaha NMAX 2020 because of its features and technology, no? Price nito, of course, 119, no? 119,000 lang ba to? SRP niya 119,000, refined 155cc. Okay. Blue core engine, stop and start system, smart motor generator system. Ito galing sa inyong dalawa ito, Zach and Sir Al. Zach, una muna, bakit special itong NMAX 2020?
Ako, by virtue of the culture generated by the previous NMAX and yung longevity ng the previous model, all this time, yung staying power niya, syempre wala. Talagang pinag-usapan siya. Pinagkaguluhan, pinag-away-awayan nila yan online and all of that. And it's just, it cannot be not in the list, I think, for 2020.
Daming following nitong NMAX, Zach, no?
Grabe. Tsaka siya, walang pandemic. I mean, nung lumabas yan, di ba, people were still, di ba, parang walang virus, basta may NMAX. Yun ang dating sa atin yan. It was really crazy online with that.
Sir Al, I think it was supposed to parang launch dun sa Inside Racing for this year, di ba?
Yes.
Oh, and ano masasabi mo naman dito sa NMAX 2020?
Okay. The reason it was on my list kasi Yamaha was able to sustain not the hype but yung the effect of that model in the entire industry kasi when it was launched in 2014, I think, it was the first scooter that mature, smooth, luxurious. So yung mga older, more mature riders who doesn't normally like to buy a scooter, nag-scooter. So important kasi after the NMAX, ang dami nang trying to sell models to attract the NMAX market. So it was important for Yamaha not to screw it up, no? Kaya sabi ko nga doon sa review ko is Yamaha did an Porsche 911 thing, meaning they were able to make it new, but when you look at the new model, you can still see the old NMAX and nirefine lang and dinagdagan ng features, which is I think good kasi had the new NMAX been a flop, pangit, over-stylized, hindi na nag-appeal sa mga mature, baka the whole segment may iiba na. At least, I think NMAX is saying torchbearer ng segment na to. The fact that it's good, meaning really people deciding to buy this type of scooter na upgrade from the 125, nandun pa rin, hindi siya nasira. That's why I think Yamaha did a very good job sa new NMAX.
Ganda ng instrument panel nito, Sir Al, Zach, no? Yun ang unang na-notice ko dito, binago talaga nila yung instrument panel, tsaka yung from the rear.
Plastics. Yeah.
Oo, yung plastics, in-improve nila,
The texture of the plastics is more, it's like parang nakikita mo sa loob ng kotse.
Oh, ganda. Very elegant, no?
In line with the non-radical, it was an incremental improvement na may value pa rin. Hindi siya parang, wala naman nangyari. May nangyari talaga. Ganda. Pero ang galing nun, simple lang. Parang, NMAX pa rin to. Pero
subtle. Diba? Very subtle and, well, sa akin, impression ko talagang elegante, no? Ang galing, Yamaha. Ang galing ng ginawa niyo. One thing noticeable dito is, it's slightly cheaper than the ADV 150. Actually, thousands, no? A few thousands cheaper. Kaya I think, ewan ko kung paano yung pricing lali dito. Strategy ba ito? Kasi naunang nagkaroon ng hype dun sa ADV 150. But yun yung napansin ko, no? It's slightly cheaper. Okay, moving on to the next bike. I think, eto, naiskupan tayo ni Zach dito. Ni-ride ka agad sa Amerika. BMW R18, no? ako, tsaka si Sir Al, we were at the launch, no, dito sa Philippines, no? Nung introduced a couple of weeks ago, Sir Al, no, magkasama tayo.
Last week, yes.
Oo. But sige, hingan ko muna ng impression itong si Zach. Naku, napakamahal. Yun ang sinasabi nila. Palaging presyo ang nanonotice dito. But for us, no, dun sa maraming nakakita, parang iniisip nila, kaya pala ganun ang presyo. Zach, your impression dito sa BMW R18?
Well, I haven't answered the whole price issue here in Asia. But before that, of course, nung lumabas-labas na yung mga balibalita early 2019 of the R18 concept, I mean, we've been seeing that online na, di ba? Tapos finally, nung EICMA 2019, yun na, in the flesh. It was, kasi dati, hindi ko ma-imagine pag sa pictures kasi tinitignan ko, parang ang layo ng upuan sa handlebar. Paano ito upuan? Parang ganun yung dating sa akin. It was just in my head.
Yung concept kasi, when they came out with the concept, di ba? Concept R18, tapos yung production, it's pwede ko sabihin siguro, parang ang laki ng difference. But itong production version, Zach, nung ni-ride mo, kamusta?
Ayun, so when I first saw it in 2019, so atat na ako, di ba? So I was talking to the guys in BMW, how's this gonna be? What's the price gonna be like? And then they were explaining it's the most powerful engine nga na Boxer that they're gonna produce. So when I first rode it, wala, Boxer talagang, I mean, you guys, Jolly, I mean, Jay, you guys have BMW series. I mean, mahal na mahal yung series yan. I would say, when they were trying to gun for the old and putting the new together, mas ito yon. Kasi, syempre si R90, parang ganun din gusto nilang gawin eh. Pero for me, the R90 is still a bit modern talaga yung R90 in that sense. Ito, yung at na mangyari talagang ibalik yung dati, medyo, parang nagawa nila yon. And about the pricing, and I think, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, the pricing in the United States it's really cheaper. Mas mura yung R18 dito. As in, I think sa Pilipinas kasi, the tax issue, mahal talaga ang mga European cars,
Bringing
European
bikes, taxes and duties.
And we can count ourselves blessed kasi sa Singapore and Taiwan, mas mahal pa yung mga BM nila doon. The R90 nila doon, 1.5, parang ganun yung...
Grabe.
So, mahal. So, medyo okay na rin tayo sa Pilipinas sa presyohan.
Okay. Sir Al, your impression.
I just want to
Okay, sorry, Zach. Okay, Sir Al, your impression dito sa BMW R18.
Okay. The reason why it's on top of my list, no? Kasi I think this is a very important bike for BMW. Kasi BMW already introduced a cruiser way back 2098, the R1200 LC. May cruiser na nun yung ginamit ni James Bond. But somehow it wasn't successful, no? Kasi right now, BMW has been on a roll for a decade, no? They were able to diversify their audience. They got the sports bike with the S1000R, with the XR, yung kanilang sports adventure. Of course, the GS is their own territory, no? And then with the R90, yung mga retro and naked bikes.
Heritage.
It's the scooter, it's the cruiser market that so far they haven't be able to touch kasi wala silang offering. With this one, they now have, so they will start now to attract, Harley buyers or yung mga hardcore cruiser. And then, second is that, next is that this being the biggest Boxer, it's not the most powerful kasi 92 lang siya, but it's the most torque yata, no? I don't know, you can correct me on that, but 1800 is the biggest Boxer. And di ba na nakita natin na sabi natin, riding will just be a bonus, but just having that bike in your garage, in your living room, looking at it, having coffee is more than enough. And this is basically what BMW means to their target market, no? That's why for me, for me the price is irrelevant kasi that's why BMW was able to sell out their 2020 allocation in the first half of 2021. For me, it's something na must have if you're a BMW owner. Now, kaya sa akin important kasi now even the Harley buyers will start to look at, especially doon na secretly longing to have an R90 but they cannot.
Yeah. Ito yung
Now,
transition, kumbaga,
now ito na. No?
look at the BMW bikes na. Oh.
And I think BMW acknowledge kasi yung the failure of the ILC, no? When I was at BM, nilaunch ko yun, yung ILC. It has a suspension similar to the GS, yung unconventional fork pala river. It performs well, pero hindi cruiser mindset. This one, conventional fork, although when we rode it, siguro na flex na yung steering flex nandun, but it's okay if siguro hindi ako cruiser rider, that's why I did not like it. But if you're a cruiser rider, okay lang yon. And I think BMW said, okay lang yan kasi it's a cruiser thing. So, yun, sa akin kaya important kasi I think this will really, kumbaga, overdrive to ng BMW to get a bigger share of the market, something like that.
Tatanungin ko yung probably the biggest BMW fan here, no? Jolly, Engineer Jolly, anong masasabi mo dito sa R18?
Nako, alam mo Jay, kasi ang BMW for the longest time ever, sobrang stubborn nila when it comes to dun sa mga tradition sila. So like yung mga, sabi nga ni Sir Al, yung para-lever na technology sa harap, talagang ayaw nila tanggalin yun. Pero eventually, di ba, they opted for the conventional forks, tapos pumasok sila sa cruiser market, which is parang yung first product nila, nag-flop dati. Pero ano siya ngayon wag niyong kalimutan, yung R1200C, financial flop for BMW, pero ngayon, parang nare-realize ng mga tao how much of a great bike that is. So nagmamahal na yun ngayon.
Collectible na siya, no? James Bond eh.
Saka lumabas sa James Bond. Tapos ito pa, nakakatawa sa ginawa ng BM, lagi silang nasa forefront of technology. Laging bleeding edge yung mga technology nila na ina-apply sa bikes.
Okay.
Pero dito sa R18, they took a step backwards Meron na silang liquid-cooled na boxer, bumalik sila sa air-cooled na overhead camshaft pa na engine na last nakita sa mga R50s noong 1960s.
Oh, ganda. Pag nakita mo in person, iba talaga. Impressive. Okay.
And the power. You guys took a little ride with that, diba? May konting rear tire slip akong muntik na sa LA. Ako subukan ko ito. So,
pag shaft driven, no?
When it comes out next year. A lot of fun with that bike.
I can
Okay,
imagine yung torque.
We now move on to the next bike, no? Before we take a short break. Ito, pinagkaguluhan ito sa EICMA pa lamang nung in-introduce, no? KTM 390 Adventure, no? Priced at 309,000 pesos. Ultra lightweight but extremely stable trellis frame, no? But 373cc 4-stroke single-cylinder engine. Sinasabi nila eco-friendly. Kayong dalawa, isa to sa pinagkaguluhan din. Marami nag-abang nito, maraming nagnasa. It's a smaller version, of course, nung 790. Sir Al, ano masasabi mo dito? KTM 390 Adventure.
Ang sinabi ko dun sa comment ko dyan is that it's the perfect bike to go around the Philippines, no? Na kasi it's expressway legal, no? Let's not contest that. It's on paper it's expressway legal, no? And then because of the riding position, parang ano siya yung more glamorous and more powerful, more capable na XRM, no? Kasi XRM is yung pinaka, kasi you can go there. So yun ang impression ko yan. So and since it is made locally, Philippine made siya, so I think it's if more people will embrace the 390 ADV, I think it's also better for the industry and local. But in terms of riding, I haven't ridden it yet, no. Although I think the engine is as smooth as the current 390, unlike before kasi PK. But the new 390 swabe na. I hope it's like that, no. I think sana we share your experience riding it. So,
nasakyan mo na ba tong KTM 390 Adventure, Zach?
Yeah, I just recently released the video mga 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. So a little bit of information on that. They were actually working on mid-sized or 390 version adventure segment way back 2013. So I
Oh,
found out about this with the KTM guys in one of those junkets the previous year.
okay.
So kung naalala nyo ng 2015 ba yun, or 2016, sa Motobuilds Pilipinas, may nag-custom ng Duke Duke 390, ginawang adventure bike.
Ginawang ganito. Oh,
So sabi ko, wow! Sabi ko, galing ang gawaan to. I just don't have a picture of it anymore, pero galing na galing ako nun. So, nasa utak ko na yun all this time. Sabi ko, kulit ako ng tanong. I kept on asking KTM whenever we get invited out there na, when is it coming out? And they're always, no, walang balita, ganyan, whatever. Lumabas na sa EICMA, yan na.
Oo.
So, Al is correct. The engine is exactly the same. They just changed the architecture of the bike. So, hindi siya, kung maalala nyo yung pakiramdam ng 390, yung feet niya sporty, di ba? Upright pero sporty. Ito medyo gitna. Hindi dahil inuro nila yung pegs, it's because ginalaw nila yung steering angle, yung architecture ng bike and all of that. So, isa lang request ko sa KTM. Sana di ba yung 790 nagkaroon ng R version, so spoke wheels, yung talagang off-road. Sana gawin nilang ganyan yan. Kasi, kumbaga, ito yung parang 790 Adventure. Kung gawin nila tong 790 Adventure R or 390 Adventure R, yun, sobrang mismo ako dyan. And I hope they come up with that.
Yes, eto Jolly, kaka-ride mo lang nito, no? Just a few weeks ago. Ikaw, quick impression itong KTM 390 Adventure.
Grabe yung 390 Adventure, Jay. Power-wise, torquey siya for a 390cc na engine. Tapos, surprisingly, yung seat height niya, mas mataas sa 790. Tapos mahaba
Talaga?
yung wheelbase niya.
Oo.
Pang off-road talagang inano ng KTM. Tune talaga nila for off-road. Then,
Taas yung
speaking
ground
of
clearance. Oo.
Speaking of off-road, sobrang ganda ng suspension na ginamit nila dyan. Sobrang saktong-sakto yung pagkaka-tune nila doon for the 390 Adventure.
Okay. And then
Ganda
for
nung
its price,
ganda
no?
nung balance.
309,000. It's very affordable, no? Kumpara dun sa ibang mga adventure bikes. Okay.
Highway.
Okay.
Importante yung highway.
Quick break muna tayo, Sir Al and Zach and Jolly. No? Magbabalik po ang Ride Radio. Diyan lamang po kayo. Okay, welcome back po sa ating programang Right Radio. Patuloy po kayo nakatutok ngayon sa Signal TV Channel 1. Live din po kami sa facebook.com/1ph on Signal. At syempre sa YouTube, hanapin lamang po ang 1PH. Ito po ang aming year-end report. At kasama natin pa rin ang dalawang batikang motoring journalist, mga nire-respeto sa aming industriya, sa ating industriya, si Sir Al Camba ng Inside Racing at of course, Mr. Zach Lucero of Makina. Gentlemen, patuloy tayo sa ating pagbibigay ng information about the bikes that we like. No? Tingin natin talagang matinding releases this year 2020. Okay, Ducati Street Fighter V4. Ito ay galing kay Sir Al Camba ito. And ito, premium segment naman ito. Ang presyo nito is 1.13 million SRP. Joker's face design. No? Hindi ko na come across ito. Pero it has 4 angular winglets to keep the road bike stable at high speeds. 208 horsepower, napakalakas na motor. Sir Al, give us your impression itong Ducati Street Fighter V4.
Okay, yung Street Fighter, more or less parang R18 to. So ngayon parang top of the, kumbaga, desirability scale in terms of na may practical use sa Ducati lineup. Kasi yung ever since yung Street Fighter, hindi siya binibigyan ng engine na kasing level ng kanilang Panigale, yung ultimate sport bike nila. But this time, yung Street Fighter, binigay yung Panigale engine, 208 horsepower, no? And at the same time, I think it's very timely, no? Kasi yung mga dati nagpapanigale 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they want a more comfortable bike. No? They want the comfort, practicality, but they don't want to give up the performance or the image na you have the fastest bike.
A more relaxed position, but with the same power. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So kaya yung Street Fighter is perfect for 2020 kasi kasi yung mga, well, you have to acknowledge na the people who have money to buy this, most of the people who have money to buy this type of bike, medyo, let's say, like me, hindi na ganun ka-flexible. So the position of the Street Fighter and the practicality has a big influence on the buying decision. So that's why I think Ducati Philippines were able to sold out their first batch of this also, yung new Street Fighter. So that's why it's important. I think that's why it's a top bike, no? Super bike, everything, but upright position.
Joker's face design, no? Hindi ko rin napansin ito. I mean, hindi ko na Zach, nasakyan mo na ba itong Street Fighter V4, Zach?
Yes, I rode it in Clark and then yung medyo backlog tayo 2021 ko lalabas. But grab this bike is, I would say, one of the best na standard na lakas. At saka ang gaang. I have nothing bad to say about it. Magaang siya. And when I was speaking with Totti about, and he was saying, Totti will always want push, of course, the Ducati, but he's extremely proud of this when this thing came out. So I don't know what else to add on to what Sir Al said. Pero sobrang mismo tong bike na to sa segment niya.
But how do you classify this? Is this a standard bike? Is this
sport naked?
Sport naked. Okay.
Sport naked.
This is a sport naked. One of the
Sir Al, may Ducati sa likod mo. Ducati. Ang dami sa mga toys niya.
Zach, okay. Zach, you mentioned about the Kimco AK550, no? Gumawa ka ng video and okay, what's special about this AK550? Ako wala akong information about this, but ikaw, what's so special about the Kimco AK550?
How do you say that? Para sa, kumbaga sa Maxi Scoot, I don't know if it's a right comparison. Kumbaga parang 7 series na siya. I mean, lahat walang tinipid. I mean, lahat okay mismo. Although I'd say the gauge I feel would be a bit dated. I think pwede pa yan i-update yung instrument panel niya. Pero wala, suspension, yung leather, yung upholstery, everything. The feel, every little switch is primo, talagang grabe yan. That for me is also one of the best maxi scoots out there. Galing. And that is also the best seller in Spain. In several European countries, Kinko is number 1 sa maxi
Sikat na
scoot.
sikat sa Europe, no? Well, for me, as an Asian, no, para akong dito ako sa Asia, parang manghang-mangha ako na ang mga sikat na, na motor doon mga Kimco, di ba? Yung mga Sim, mga kumbaga yung mga bikes na coming from Asia, yung mga maxi scoot, gustong-gusto nila sa Europe yan di ba?
Yeah.
Sir Al, ba't palaging parang eto Kimco, pero yung technology nila advanced lagi, no? Itong Nudo, palaging pinag-uusapan ito Ano ba ang special? What's so special about the Nudo technology, Sir Al?
Okay. Yung AK550, I don't know if it's still the same model, na ride namin to, I think 3-4 years ago when it was first introduced. So, first time, yun ang unang menudo dito sa Philippines, AK550. Ang kasabay niya nun yung downtown pa na But anyway, ang impression ko rito is it's the big bike of maxi scooter.
Big bike of maxi scooter.
It's heavy, although it has a lower center of gravity, so medyo madaling i-handle. But when you ride it, you have to treat it like a big bike, no? Kasi the brakes are strong. The tires is as big as the big bike, so you can corner actually fast, no? So it's for mature riders, no? Now yung Nudo noon, that time hindi pa siya hindi pa siya well established, no? But yung Nudo actually is navigation, no? Like every manufacturer is trying to set up their own, no? And I think Kimco, as I think it's more of a statement of how advanced they are in the scooter technology, that they have their own
technology they're always on top no? Pagka binanggit mo yung Nudo, ito
Yeah, actually, when AK550 was introduced, ang BMW, I think isang BMW maxi scooter pa noon, sila ang nagpo-produce ng engine. That's why I think the AK was, parang ngayon, when meron sila ding scooter na dapat it was a higher technology than sinusupply nila sa ibang brands, no? So I think the reason why they have the highest technologies because they are able to produce more volumes. Kasi aside from their own brand, they also produce for Kawasaki, BMW, and others.
Okay.
And I think they were doing the same strategy like Toyota and Subaru with the BRZ, BMW and Toyota with their kumbaga they're able to spend on technology kasi nagagamit nila in other brands.
Okay, next bike, ito personal favorite ko to among the yung mga small displacement Suzuki Raider J crossover. Priced at 63,900, no? Murang-mura, affordable, 113cc, small displacement. Pero ang appeal sa akin ito is yung parang yung handlebars niya parang off-road, all-terrain tires, 'di ba? Cheap, hindi no fuzz, walang arte-arte. Okay ito sa akin. Parang sa akin very appealing ito. Pero ikaw Sir Al and Zach, no? Na ride nyo ito, I think sa Bukidnon, no? Sa Mindanao, no? Anong impression niyo dito? How does it ride? Hindi ko pa nasakyan ito. Zach muna, Zach.
Yeah, that's a very memorable ride kasi sumemplang ako dyan
Nag-crash ka
highway. I was a young kid, apparently, girl. Tumakas siya, tinakas niya yung motor. Alam mo, natititigan kayo. Sabi niya, nakikita mo naman ako so siguro naman di ka tatawid, di ba? Steady lang. Tapos tumawid talaga. As in, she just went into my path. Tapos, sempla kami, nagkalat kami sa daan. So anyway, that's why it's such a memorable bike for me. But in line with what you're saying, sa yung rough and tough appeal niya sa probinsya, na kaya niyang sabak mo sa lahat. Di ba? Although sa size ko, it's a small. Kung ako ayusin ko yan, lalagyan ko pa yan ng mga protection sa makina, skid plate kasi off-road, tataasan ko pa yung handlebar, mga ganun. Pero utilitarian, ang hirap sirain yan. In fact, kung sumemplang ako, ay ayos yung bike.
Commander pa.
Wala problema. It was a bad impact. So, okay siya.
Oo. Sir Al.
Okay, the reason why it was on my list, no, it was launched nung March, and then yung significance nito kasi for more than a decade, well, siguro for its first 5 years, we have to talk about the XRM. We cannot talk about the crossover without mentioning the XRM. Yung XRM, first 5 years, market leader siya ng whole industry, as much as 40% sales, no? And then for nearly a decade, walang more than a decade, walang challenger. So finally, walang challenger na Japanese. So finally, Suzuki naglabas ng crossover. So we cannot help but compare. And it accomplishes all that made the XRM great for Filipinos. It's affordable. It's a true off-road bike, no? Hindi siya mukhang ADV lang. It binabi tires, high ground clearance, malaki ang wheel diameter. It can actually go off-road. So it reminds me yung when most of the people started their bikes, yung Honda Trail, no? So ganon, no? So and then riding it is like riding a bicycle actually, no? Na yung tipong nag-ride ka, hindi mo na i-center stand, i-side stand mo na yung isasandal mo na lang somewhere, and then pag-ride ka na, pwede na naman. So sa akin, yung romance nung ganong klaseng motorcycle, nandun din sa crossover. And it's priced well, no?
Parang sulit.
And it has nationwide support. So, ang important lang sa akin kasi finally may challenger si XRM. But both are good bikes, no? And siguro ang difference lang ni crossover, it takes a smaller engine, more fuel efficient. With regards to performance, I think, no, sa akin, irregardless yung top speed or acceleration, kasi it's an off-road bike eh. Hindi mo naman siya babilin dahil doon eh. It's more on how easy.
Utilitarian, ano niya, aspect.
It's more on the practicality, how you can ride it, and reliability, which is I think on par, no? Wala. So it depends lang whether you like red or yellow.
Okay. Guys, ito ang gagawin ko naman, gagawin ko kayong manghuhula. Gagawin ko kayong dalawa na, kumbaga, paano ba ito? I want you guys to look at, in advance of 2021, with all the information, with all the bikes that came out itong 2020. 2021, ano sa tingin nyo, tigisang bike kayo, Zach and Sir Ala, ano sa tingin nyo yung magandang makita in the future, no? Do we look forward to another sport bike, to another cruiser bike, to another mid-level bike? Ang uunahin ko dito this time si Sir Al muna. Ano yung gusto mong makita sa 2021 at ano yung tingin mo na maging hit, no? Para may tips nitong mga motorcycle manufacturers, what would you like to see in 2021, Sir Al?
Can I give two? Can I give two?
Sige. Okay.
Say one, kasi one is for the small bikes, which is the volume, and one for, let's say, not small bikes. No?
Okay.
For the small bikes, no, kasi 2020 was very weird, although 20% lang ang minus 20% lang ang projected drop in sales. It's big, no? After 8 years of laging positive. Ang naapektuhan nito actually are yung mga commuter segments, no? Yung mga bikes na they buy it because of necessity.
Yes.
No? Yes. That's why yung segment ng mga leisure bikes hindi naapektuhan, like NMAX may pila, ADV may pila, Kimco may pila, Street Fighter may pila. Kasi nga, these are leisure bikes that the buyers were not affected by the pandemic. But yung buyers ng mga commuter bike, the small ones, medyo naapektuhan. So I'm looking forward to actually more Suzuki actually launched it na eh. Yung Suzuki SkyDrive crossover, something like that. A very cheap na scooter, cheap.
Na do it all.
Na capable. Kasi yung scooter, actually, low ground clearance siya, so hindi mo siya pwede pang off-road. But yung eto, Sir Jay, makaka-relate ka, parang gravel bike. Gravel bike ng motor na you can take it anywhere na walang roads, pero hindi naman yung pang jungle. So, and cheap. Kasi I feel na yung mga bibili na cheap, they should have a bike na isa na they can take anywhere and do it anywhere.
Ngayon yung kada bitaw nila ng pera ngayon, no? They budget their pambili ng bike.
That's yun yung gusto kong makita. Kung meron pang mas mura sa SkyDrive na capable, then better. Then yung next naman is gusto ko magkaroon ng yung parang City 300 o upgrade from the leisure bikes so they continue to enjoy the lifestyle. Kasi yung mga nagsawa na, next upgrade. Kasi ang gusto ko, somewhere like in the middle, like yung the ADV, Suzuki, yung, hindi yung full bore big bikes. Kasi yun talaga, bibili sila nun eh. Yung something na mag-upgrade yung mga naka-NMAX ngayon or something a bit bigger na para hindi sila mabato, then they continue to keep the lifestyle, they continue to enjoy, meet new people, gano'n, and improve their riding skills then. So, sorry, dalawa. So, yun lang. A small, capable commuter bike that will be, and then another upgrade.
And another, yung pang-tuloy, no? Pang-lifestyle.
Pang-upgrade dun sa mga leisure bikes ngayon.
Your 2021 wish list for motorcycles, Zach Lucero.
Wish list?
Oo. Isa lang, sorry. Hindi wish list. Ano gusto mo makita sa 2021? What would you hope for?
I'm hoping for more development sa electric segment ng mga big manufacturers. I've been waiting for that kasi nakakatawa, parang masabi lang, maalala nyo 2017, 2018 in EICMA, lahat nag-electric, tapos sila nalabas na, wala naman natutuloy, di ba? But of course, Ewan McGregor, they came up with the show right now, a long way up this time with the electric.
Live wire, no? Harley Davidson.
Live wire yun. So I'm like thinking, dapat move forward na tayo. Kung hindi man pumutok yan next year, sana may movement na yung electric with the big bikes. With the big manufacturers.
That's nice.
In terms of prediction naman, I'm very hopeful, same with Al, yung SkyDrive crossover is one of the best looking little scooters that's coming out. That's parang tumaas yung itsura niya. Parang siyang mala Batman na gothic na di ba, pang roughing it out na matic. So I'm excited.
I haven't ridden that SkyDrive na yan, yung bago na yan. So hoping to ride it soon.
It's a looker. And then prediction, I don't know, Rusi. Tibay pa rin yan next year, I'm sure.
Rusi.
Yeah, and then of course,
lahat naman dinaanan ni Rusi, Zach eh. Lahat dinaanan.
that's what I'm hopeful for next year.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today for our last and of course going out with a big bang tayo, no? Ayan, Sir Al, kasama pa niya yung kanyang anak, kanyang daughter.
Sorry, sa bahay.
So, ayun. Of course, ang wini-wish natin sa motorcycle industry, sana talagang hindi tamaan masyado ng pandemya and maging mas prosperous pa, mas maging successful pa itong ating industriya. And of course, good luck to Inside Racing and Makina, good luck sa inyong mga endeavors. Happy New Year to you guys, no? Sir Al Camba of Inside Racing, Zach Lucero of Makina. Cheers, guys. Itaas nyo naman yung mga mga Cheers to 2021. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Mga kaibigan, yan po, sina Zach Lucero of Makina and Inside Racing's Sir Al Camba. Jolly, walang-wala, no? Yan lang ang guest natin, no? Bago magtapos ang ating 2020, no? Happy New Year, no? Sa inyong lahat, of course. And, syempre, Jolly, mangyari ng lahat, pero tuloy pa rin ang Pasko, di ba? Tapos na ang Pasko, mga paps, pero patuloy pa rin ang mga tumutulong para maramdaman ng mga nangangailangan ang Pasko kahit na may pandemya. Isang pamilya ang namigay ng mga regalo sa mga bata sa barangay Mariblo sa Quezon City. Sa isang Facebook post, ibinahagi ni Ayan Proganan na taon-taon nilang itong ginagawa kasama ang iba pang mga grupo. Ito raw ang paraan nila para ibahagi ang mga blessing na natanggap nila. Napakahalaga niyan, Jolly, no? Yung mag-share ka ng blessings mo, no? Ang sinasabi nga nila ang pinaka nagmamatter talaga, Jolly, yung wala ka na halos na, wala kang masyadong, kumbaga kung anong meron ka lang. And yun pa yung ibinabahagi mo sa ibang tao na nakakatuwa po yan and lalo kayong pagpapalain ng ating Diyos sa ginagawa po ninyo. Yan ang patunay na tuloy pa rin ang Pasko, mga kapatid. Para sa mga gustong magpaabot ng tulong, makisali lamang sa aming Tuloy pa rin ang Pasko movement. Mga paps, ngayong holiday season, bida ang lechon sa mga handaan. Samahan natin si RPG Toto Padulyon na bisitahin ang La Loma, ang tinaguriang lechon capital ng Metro Manila.
Mga paps, nandito tayo ngayon sa La Loma, Quezon City upang silipin at kumustahin ang kalagayan dito ng ating mga kababayang nagninegosyo o ang hanap buhay ay lechon. Ito po yung lechon capital dito sa Metro Manila. At ating makikita na hindi na katulad ng mga nagdaang mga panahon na wala pang pandemya, lagi itong puno ng display ang itong kalye na ito ng mga lechon.
Kumpara noon, mas mamahina po talaga. Siyempre, noon nga, wala tayong pandemic. So, maganda-ganda ang pintahan.
Marami po bang nagpapa-deliver nitong mga magpapaskong araw, sir?
Marami rin po. Pero mas marami po nung nakaraan po.
Ito, walang trabaho. Puro magpapasko sila. Simple handa lang. At saka pinawal din po yung mga presenters.
RPG Toto Padulyon para sa Ride Radio.
Magkita-kita tayong muli rito sa Ride Radio sa susunod na taon na, no? Sa susunod na taon na, pero Sabado pa rin po, 5 to 6 po pa rin ang hapon, ang ating oras. Ako po si Jay Taruc.
At ako naman si Jolly Alarcon para sa 1PH.
Kami po ang boses ng pinagkakaisang Pilipinas. Happy New Year! Cheers!
Happy New Year! Yeah!
Nasaan yung mug mo? Ayun.
Puti na ngayon para makita na.
Happy New Year po!